What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy here from Ocean Bound, and man, what a day. Why can't all my days off be like this? The story kind of starts last night when I texted my buddy Brian, who I knew wasn't working today, if he wanted to hit and haunt with me in the morning. And it was kind of late. I was busy getting my kids to bed. He didn't really respond, but I had to get that text out, plant the seed. The waves were set to be like 2.5 to 3.5 feet, perfect for foiling. So I don't know about you guys. I have an iPhone, and at some point in the last few years, I turned on some function that I don't get text between like 11 o'clock and like 7 a.m. So I'm up, I'm early, I'm lying in bed, reading the news, checking emails, looking at the Ocean House surf cam, getting stoked. And then at 7 o'clock on the dot, multiple texts start coming into my phone from Brian, and I'm heading to Nahant, ETA 6:45, like looking good. And like Brian's an early riser, so I'm like, F dude, I'm late, so I jump out of bed, I mix up some electrolytes, I like make some toast, get in the car, race to Nahant. So I get there around like 8 o'clock, conditions look sick. I mean, it was a gorgeous morning. I put together my downwind board quick, the 1180 foil, the 220 tail, blue shim. I peel on my wetsuit and I hit the water. And dude, it's so good. It was glassy, no wind, waist high sets rolling in. Here we go. Check this out.
This one, I changed my mind. That wasn't a connection.
So Brian only stayed an hour or two since he was there for, probably about an hour before me. I was on the water for almost 3 hours. I couldn't stop. I mean, check out my tracks, right? Over 9 miles of paddling and riding waves. They were long rides. I was averaging 18 miles an hour with my 1180. And, I may have only gotten like 4 real connections, but there were a couple close ones. It was sweet. I was having a day. The angle was great. And, even though they were kind of only peeling in one direction, with the downwind board, I was catching them early enough so you could ride them in both directions. So I'd peel down the line one way, traveling like a good distance, and paddle back out and peel down the line and back to where I started. After Brian left, I decided to check out, what it was like near all the surfers and by the Tides restaurant, the Ocean House surf shop, and, on the south end of the beach. So just like 2 peeling waves, and I was already like a half mile down the beach. It was so sick. In the last hour or so, the wind started coming up a little bit, and the glassiness just kind of faded to little ripples. It was starting to affect my balance a little bit. I was having fun, but I needed some water and some energy, so I headed in. I was exhausted by the time I reached my car, so I decided I had my fill, I'd just go home. You know, the glassiness was so special, and the ripples in the chop, you know, forming were just kind of a turn off to me, and you know, the fact my upper body was just like pretty beat made the decision easier. I was chatting with Tim from Ocean House on my way home, and I kind of wondered if I should have stayed. Like, I was like, why am I leaving this? I have the whole day off, you know? But I had a couple things I needed to do back in my house, so, you know, going home was the right call. Well, not long after I got home, you know, I started seeing people just like chatter saying that they were going to head to Nahan because the wind had picked up. So, you know, I was supposed to build throughout the afternoon. Pleasure Bay was down the street from my house, so I figured I'd get a sesh there. But when I rolled into Pleasure Bay, it was cool. I got to see some of my friends, but I looked at that flat water, and being on waves for like 3 hours earlier just wasn't doing it for me. The Hans meter was only at 14, but I'm like, I could do that with like a big wing, maybe my downwind board. It was supposed to build. So
back. I'm like, you know what? There's waves. It'll be onshore wind and like the waves won't be as clean, but I know there's waves, so I'm back. I'm gonna hit Nahan for the second time today. I'm stoked. Wing power. Here we go.
wing sash was awesome. I'm so stoked I took out that 680 and the FG board. What a different session that it was from earlier. I felt, alive and full of energy, and I was like a carving machine. The waves were sloppy, but still showing some like kind of groundswell tendencies. And from being there earlier, I knew the bigger ones were setting up kind of north of the halfway house, so I just like rode there a lot. You know, the vert wasn't anything crazy, but I just loved dropping in on the steepest part that I could find. So, you know, the foil was just so fun and playful. And check out these tracks, you know, 17 miles in like less than an hour and a half. I was just so stoked that I came back. So man, I wish every day off was like this. But having these days can be troublesome because the potential like stoke overload that you can get when your stoke levels are, you know, too high for your next session, you can't always, you know, count on the conditions to match these like elevated pre-stoke levels. But I think it's okay to have a day like this every once in a while. What I can say is that I love supping these waves with the downwind board. It's just great for catching waves early. I'm stoked I replaced my old foil sup with it. Brian did the same thing. The 1180 and the 220 tail is just a gliding and pumping machine that's still just like awesome to carve. I have a lot to learn from this foil, but I've just been so stoked with every wave session that I've like taken it out in, especially because, you know, I typically ride something like the HA 880 with my sup. The 1180 doesn't really feel huge, and you know, it's great for what I'm doing, which is like cruising down the line, a few cutbacks and turns, and then practicing connecting waves. And the 680 is a dream. It's, you know, as long as there's some vert to ride, it just makes me want to play. It's awesome. So I know that there's some places that you could like consistently get like glassy surf in the morning, and then the wind picks up later and you can ride waves later in the day with the wing, but that's just not typical here. So I'm just so lucky and stoked that I was able to hit it, and just why can't all days off be like this? You know, so that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I just hit 2,000 subs, and which is just another amazing milestone for me. And I don't post my videos anywhere. I just keep doing my thing and let the algorithm do its thing, and y'all have found me. And so just like my session today, I just feel so lucky and stoked that everyone watches my videos. Just from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. It's just been amazing to getting to know all of you people that comment, and you know, you all inspire me every day to do what I do. So with that, I hope all of you are doing well out there. I'll see you soon on the flip, and wish you all an awesome day. Later.